I'm Steve Ember in Washington. Egyptian President Mohammed Morsi is urging opposition groups to join him in a discussion about the country's future. He spoke on television late Wednesday after he signed into law a new constitution that opposition groups oppose. Mr. Morsi said the government and the opposition must cooperate to let Egypt solve what he called its huge economic problems. Mr. Morsi said he takes responsibility for mistakes made by his 6-month-old government in trying to lead the change to democracy. A top official in Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's government has told an Arab TV station that he has defected and joined Syria's opposition. A video published on a social media website shows General Abdulaziz Jassem al-Shalal saying he has left the government. The former chief of Syria's military police says he left because the Syrian military police no longer protect the country, but instead are destroying it. In other news, reports say the Syrian president has sent a diplomat to Russia to discuss peace proposals. Russian diplomats are reportedly attempting to negotiate a peaceful change in rule. Opposition leaders and Western diplomats are demanding that Mr. Assad leave office without conditions. Stock prices in the United States declined for a third trading session on Wednesday. The major stock indexes in New York were down as much as 0.7% in afternoon trading. Investors are concerned that there are few signs of progress as President Obama and his Democratic Party allies return to Washington for talks with opposition Republicans. Without a deal, hundreds of billions of dollars in tax increases and government spending cuts will begin after the first of the year. Indian officials have begun a special investigation into the rape and violent beating of a 23-year-old medical student. The student was attacked 10 days ago in New Delhi. Investigators say men on a private bus raped and beat her severely for an hour. She remains in the hospital in serious condition. 6 men have been arrested. Her case launched days of protests across India. A government spokesman said Wednesday that a judicial committee will examine how police answered the attack. He said a separate committee will suggest stronger punishment for crimes against women and ways to make the city safer for women. The government announcement Wednesday came as police reported another sexual attack. Police have arrested 10 men for the rape of a 20-year-old woman in the southern state of Tamil Nadu. Extreme rain has led to flooding in eastern Malaysia. More than 13,000 people have been forced to leave the area. Rescue efforts began in several eastern states on Wednesday after monsoon rains covered houses and vehicles in low areas. You are listening to the news in VOA Special English. Japan's new Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has named a cabinet made up of close allies. Emperor Akihito swore in Mr. Abe and his cabinet Wednesday. Mr. Abe's Liberal Democratic Party won a majority in the lower house of Parliament 10 days ago. Mr. Abe first served as Prime Minister from 2006 to 2007. He appointed several people from his former cabinet to lead in the new one. They include Taro Aso, who served as Prime Minister after Mr. Abe stepped down. Speaking at a news conference, the new Prime Minister promised to take strong steps to fix the Japanese economy. One of his top goals is to make the Bank of Japan reduce borrowing costs. South Africa says former President Nelson Mandela is out of the hospital 18 days after he was admitted for medical treatment. A statement from the South African Presidency says medical officials let Mr. Mandela leave the hospital Wednesday night. It says he will receive home-based care at his house near Johannesburg until he fully recovers. An attack in eastern Afghanistan has killed 3 Afghans and wounded 7 other people. Officials say a suicide bomber exploded a vehicle near an American military base in Khost province Wednesday. The attack killed a guard and 2 nearby civilians. NATO did not report any deaths of coalition forces. The Taliban has claimed responsibility for the attack. The Haqqani group, which is linked to the Taliban, is known to be active in the area. And Taiwan has permitted the first Chinese company to build a profitable land project. Bob Doty has more from Ralph Jennings' report in Taipei.
Taiwan normally bans private Chinese developers from building in its territory. However, the country made a rare change to its policy for Beijing-Vantone real estate. Taiwan is permitting the Chinese company to build 2 tall buildings by the ocean near Taipei. One building will be used mostly for apartments, where visitors and business people can stay for a short time. Vantone is known for expensive home projects in China. The head of sales for Vantone, Kid Lin, explains that Vantone created a company in Singapore. It then used that company's name to answer a request for development by the new Taipei City government. A Taipei City building official said her agency was not required to check to see whether Vantone was supported by Chinese funds. China and Taiwan have been ruled separately since the Civil War in the 1940s. China has claimed the self-ruled Taiwan as its territory. This claim has caused leaders in Taiwan to ban investments from China. Tensions between the nations began to ease in 2008 under Taiwan's President Ma Ying-jeou. Since then, Taiwan has opened up 404 services to investors from China. However, Taiwan's Investment Commission says private building is closed to mainland Chinese. The Commission is concerned about security as well as about competition with local companies.